When I'm not joining the evil empire, I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. How did a boy from Chicago, living in Florida, end up with a Yankees cap? Mind blown. It says in a sports channel, I realized, but I had to address this. I was wearing the Yankees hat video last week. The reason being is I'm the ultimate contrarian. Born in Chicago, was a Cubs fan my entire life. They won the World Series a few years back. Again, I had a lot of heartbreaking moments through my childhood. Always rep the Cubs brand. Super loyal. Loyalty's kind of my thing. Once they had that magical run a couple years back ago, the end with the World Series, I was all about it. And then they traded for Chapman, who is a closer who likes to beat women in between throwing 103-mile-an-hour pitches. And they really didn't need him at the time. They had like a team that was pretty heavily favored to win the pennant at least. And they ended up just kind of trading for like total scumbag. And at that moment, I was like, I hope that this cost them the World Series. And it actually almost did. But I stopped being a Cubs fan since then. Fun fact, that same year, the Yankees, the winningest team in sports history, decided to suck. So part of what I did was start repping Yankees wear because it was like the ultimate contrarian thing to do. When the team that you have supported your entire life and has sucked their whole life is awesome, you go the other way and support the awesome team that sucks. When they only really sucked for about a year. But that is the magical story of how I became a Yankees fan, which really, like, let's be honest, I don't really even watch baseball anymore, sadly. So I'm not a fan in general. But the cool side product of wearing the Yankees gear is that like people just hate it on you more. And as you all understand, I love getting hated on by random strangers, so Yankees are the way to go. Pretty guitar, but I bet not your favorite. So this is in response to the new D'Angelico I've been rocking, and you're right, it is absolutely not my favorite guitar because no matter what kind of guitar you just drop into my lap, it could be one of the PRS Eagles that's, 10 grand guitar, greatest guitar ever built. It's not going to make a connection and become my favorite guitar. Like how, again, talking about loyalty, I'm not just going to ditch my Strat because something awesome and new came along. Now again, this is a great guitar. Maybe with time, it can work its way up to my favorite guitar. But, favorite guitar is way different than best guitar. And again, this plays and my Music Man Albert Lee, they both play better than my 62 ratio Strat. But there's just something about that Strat that is like a real part of me, And this will not be replacing the feeling that I get from picking up my Strat anytime soon. But if you've seen the demo of this is actually an awesome guitar and I really like playing it. So you're going to see a lot more of it. But it has some work to do to becoming my favorite guitar. Let me know what your guys' favorite guitar is that maybe might not seem like it. Because I know a lot of guys who have Gibson 335s, especially back when I worked in Guitar Center Las Vegas. There's a story we were kind of hanging out by the accessories counter, and one guy said he had a Gibson 335, which if you don't know is very expensive, kind of semi-hollow body Gibson. And he's like, I never play it because I'm afraid to play it because it's so nice. So I have an Epiphone Sheridan or Epiphone Dot, and I play that way more. And then another guy's like, I have the exact same issue. I have a 335 that never gets played because I always play my Sheridan or my Dot. And then a third guy was like, me too. And it was so weird that we had three guys that all have 335s. None of them play them, even though it's a superior guitar spec-wise almost any way you cut it up. Just because the Sheridans played awesome at the time. Again, I haven't played a Sheridan in a while. But, what makes your favorite guitar is just kind of something unique to each person and their experience with the guitar. So like I said, let me know what yours are in the comments below. Hey Sean, I have two questions. One, are you going to make another musical guilty pleasures guitar confessions video with Ian? And two, I know that you're older than me, so you've had more time to listen to a wider variety of music, but how much time do you spend daily listening to music from well-known bands and musicians, or just music that's out there in general? You seem to be really knowledgeable on a lot of bands and musicians that are out there, and a lot of the artists that you've repeatedly mentioned that you like, the best example being Elliott Smith, my man, I've grown to really like, so I'm curious how you're able to expand your repertoire of music knowledge to the extent that you have. Thanks. Thank you so much for saying the kind words. I can't take credit for a lot of it. I have some friends with phenomenal music taste. Allie, who's been on this channel a ton, but my singer duo partner extraordinaire, has incredible taste in music that I would not otherwise listen to, that she turns me on to all the time. Another one of my students, her name is Cecily. She's been in one of the gig vlogs before. great taste in music that she's always helping me out with. Logan, who's been on the channel, Cody, who's been on the channel, they're always hitting me up with stuff to listen to. Spotify Discovery, I think, is very helpful with that. But the most important thing for how I discover all this stuff is because I have time when I'm in the car. I'm generally in my car driving to and from gigs, lessons, whatever, at least an hour and a half every day. And I have probably averaged between 1 and 2 hours in the car every single day since I work 7 days a week, ever since I got into the workforce, 10 years ago. I don't even know how long that was. So I've been in the car a lot. So I have ample opportunity to listen to music. I'm always kind of listening to something when I'm in there, whether it be podcasts, kind of getting into audiobooks now too, actually. But there's a lot of time to listen to music. I have a lot of great resources as friends who always turn me on to cool stuff. So a lot of times it may seem like I know a lot about music, but really I'm just like repeating something that like Logan or Cody just showed me. And I'm like, hey, I just heard this, check it out, which is what I'm gonna do today. So stay tuned for the next one because listening homework this week is something I've really been jamming to and it's really good. As someone who plays the piano, I find this a little ridiculous sounding. You're really just playing chords and breaking them. No, and not all white keys are in the key of C. No one is impressed. If you're going to teach piano, just teach theory, the study of music. Seriously, it sounds like bull. Not all white keys are in the key of C. I'm not sure what kind of piano he's using, but that is one salty elitist piano player. Comment of the week. He's got a few things to teach me. Dang, you are straight sauce. Salty sauce. Never get lost in the sauce, Sean. Another new segment on the channel this week. Comment I'm not really sure what it means, but I am totally down for. And don't worry, my man, I will never get lost in the sauce. But I'm all about that sauce. So I'm not really sure, again, what that means. Sounds cool. I'm running with it. Thank you so much. Wrong! Completely wrong! Where do you get off giving lessons? Why not watch how John Mayer plays it, then give a lesson? You suck, dude. Crappy guitar player who should not be giving lessons. You have no feel, no tone, no vibrato. Hashtag suck. Salty Blues comment of the week, obviously. I think it's kind of sad that ending sentences with hashtag whatever, like hashtag sucks, seems to be going out of fashion because I was kind of just getting warmed up with like ending most of my sentences with a hashtag. And you know what? Again, when society swings one way, I swing the other. So hashtag contrarian. Question: since I've gotten a bit older, I've grown to enjoy smaller, more quaint venues because the crowds are smaller and obviously they're more there for the musician and not to film the entire show. I have all but given up on arena shows and anything bigger because of fans and their phones. How do you deal with this ongoing problem when you catch gigs? See, I've actually been at a couple arena gigs lately, and I think that it has becoming a problem. People just like videotaping it on their phones. The bigger gigs, I think, are doing a good job where they kind of incorporate like crowd participation. I think Coldplay might have started this, where they hand out some kind of like bracelet or something that flashes, where you can kind of coordinate distractions in the crowd. Because it is kind of distracting. I've been like when I was at Queens of the Stone Age a few months ago, a lot of people were just kind of watching the concert through their phone, which really is so stupid. like come on. I've talked with people about this before, like how often are you really gonna rewatch really poor audio quality video footage from a concert on your phone when you could really just probably find like that same concert on YouTube with like maybe some good sound or maybe not. So I always think that's kind of stupid. Again, it generally doesn't bother me so much because I'm so locked in like an eagle. But yeah, I think it's pretty dumb. Again, like most things in the world, there's a lot of dumb stuff going on. Try not to let it distract you. That is my best advice I could possibly give. This guitar reminds me of The Prestige in the sense that the movie was about 2 hours long and you can play that guitar for 2 hours if you wanted to. Yes, I am a master of comparisons, and yes, you're welcome, Sean. After rewatching the movie, I now give it a 7.83 out of 10. I don't want to say I was wrong, but I will say I was more than half right, so I can't be wrong. Let's just say Christopher Nolan is a genius, well, kind of. So why not go all out this episode and not really talk too much about guitar in general, and talk about my new favorite movie, The Prestige, a tale of two magicians kind of dueling each other and busting each other's balls the whole way until it gets super real, and then some sci-fi stuff happens. It's a fantastic movie. Christopher Nolan, who, again, Memento is another incredible movie that used to be my favorite movie until I rewatched Prestige, because The Prestige is the perfect combination of like a wild story that is really well made, well directed. It's got Hugh Jackman in it, which, I mean, I'm already sold. But also, too, there's so much unintentional comedy and unbelievable stuff that goes on in The Prestige, in the realm of this well-made movie, that is too much. Like, David Bowie plays Tesla, and there's this scene where they're, like, sitting in the mountains outside of his, like, crazy machine factory, and he was musing about, like, I gotta look this up. Like, I can't get this quote wrong. So Hugh Jackman asks Bowie, "Hasn't good come of your inventions?" And Bowie, as Tesla, says, "I am their slave, and one day they will choose to destroy me." and David Bowie with a little necktie, as Nikola Tesla just sold me. Prestige favorite movie, 11 out of 10. I will not hear a counter argument to this. Listening homework, a song called Tied Up right now by Parcel. Never heard of this band. Very kind of strange. They've only got a few songs out, but this song is absolutely nasty. It makes me want to go pick up that bass right now because the bass player is so filthy. Fantastic listen. Definitely check it out. I've been feeling funky as of late. So if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.